Pioneer Women's Varsity Lacrosse is live and on the air. We are live at Hallway Field, where it is your Pioneer Women's Varsity Lacrosse team with their first home game of the season as they take on the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets. Perrysburg is already 5 games into the season with one canceled game as they start a bit earlier in Ohio, so they are 4-1. Tough opponent always for Pioneer to play. Pioneer is coming off of 2 losses on the road. They played on the 22nd in March versus Seaholm at Groves High School. That was a 12-8 loss. Then they played South Lyon back on the 4th of this month, and that was an 11-7 loss at South Lyon. So Pioneer looking to get their first home win of the season. As announcing the starting lineups here. As they're announcing all the Lincoln coming out, then Ellis. Hillary coming out. Fredrickson coming out for Perrysburg. Olin coming out. Gorsh coming out to midfield. Baradaviv. Schultz. Halterman comes out. Menke coming out. Roof coming out. Muck coming out. Jaeger coming out onto the field. Robertson being announced. Dusing coming out. Gibbs heading out onto the field. Allen coming out. Ledyard coming out. Rosinant coming out for Perrysburg. Malloy heading out for Pioneer out to midfield. Miranda heading out. Kinsey coming out to midfield. Grabowski comes out to midfield. Kennedy coming out to midfield. Kim coming out. Solden is currently not with the team. Hopefully she'll be with the team next week. Paulino coming out. Chouet heading out onto the field. Whitcomb out onto the field. Jimenez out onto the field. Lamb heads out to midfield. Joff heads out. Cole heading out to midfield. Luna heading out to midfield for Pioneer. Daly heads out to midfield. Grice heads out to midfield. And between the pipes, it's Huffman. Zach Megas, head coach. Claire Hughes and assistant coach. For the other side, for Perrysburg, it is Autumn Stevens, head coach. Now, ladies and gentlemen, playing of the national anthem. As it is a beautiful day here, game time temperature 65 degrees at Hallway Field. First home game for Pioneer women's varsity lacrosse. The JV game happened just before this, and it was Pioneer 3 and Perrysburg 5. We want to thank all the wonderful, amazing sponsors of Pioneer women's lacrosse. That includes Iris Dry Cleaners at 209 Fitness, Whitcomb Farms LLC, Finn's Insurance, Crazy Wisdom Publications, Cheryl Reddick, State Farm Insurance, Orange Theory Fitness, Kevin Devine Real Estate, Ann Arbor Rug and Carpet Cleaning, Palgong Tea, Hesselberg Chiropractics, Heidi Cusurellis Insurance, Anderson Paint Company, Ann Arbor Smiles, Stadium Hardware, Steve Service, Felix Rudberg of Real Estate One, Pierce Sperling, Egan and Daniels, Mathnasium, Blue Line Fitness, Steeper and Burst Orthodontics, Bank of Ann Arbor, The Right Touch, Burns Park Orthodontics, and BB Nail Salon. In for the draw, Shui out there for Pioneer. On the other side, trying to get a number. Should have looked up just a little quicker as they're both on the same side. As that looks like it's going to be Robertson on the draw. As they get the ball set between the crosses, ready to go here. As it pops up and down on the near side, as that was Gibbs trying to get it raked up. Here comes Pioneer. Coming the other direction, Grabowski has it over midfield. Grabowski heading down the hash marks. Grabowski gets in over the restraining line. Grabowski comes into the 12-meter fan. Grabowski fires it. That goes underneath the goal line. Extended ground ball just back behind the goal. And pulled back up out in front, firing it. As trying to put it in was Polino. Whistle, and that is going to be a free position. As they'll start off. Perrysburg has it coming over on the near wing. Is is Robertson. Robertson racing down over midfield. And fired ahead, plucked up by coming in Lincoln. Lincoln gets inside the 12-meter fan, inside the 8-meter arc. Lincoln's shot just goes wide. Run out, closest to it down there was Mook has it underneath the goal line, extended on the far wing. Muck comes all the way back, fires it. Outside on the far wing by Gibbs. Gibbs flips that over. And trying to race that sent right back behind the goal line, extended. Over trying to make her way above the goal line, extended there was Ellis. Ellis gets it even with the goal on the far side. Now that's sent directly back behind the goal by Perrysburg. 23-13 left to go here in the first. As with it, Yeager, even with the goal on that far side, that ball tipped out of the cross. So it's going to stay Perrysburg ball. Just underneath the goal line, extended on the far wing. As the offending party has to go 5 yards back behind. That bowled over as Muck has it. Moves it over on the far wing underneath that goal line, extended. Trying to fire it back in front. Lifted over by Yeager. Yeager sends it above the goal line, extended now. Lincoln coming in, gets inside the 8-meter fan. Lincoln coming in, shot. And a goal by Lincoln as Perrysburg goes up 1-0 at 22-28 in the first. Lincoln with the Perrysburg goal. That makes it 1-0. Perrysburg with the lead. As assist would be to Gibbs on that, is set up for The draw popped up as Shue gets it back over. Here comes Pioneer racing ahead. Kinsey has it down between the hash marks into the offensive zone. Kinsey working her way around the 12-meter fan. Kinsey gets inside the 8-meter arc. Now steps back. Kinsey working her way around the 12-meter fan. Flips that back between the hash marks. Over to Malloy. Malloy over to Grabowski, who puts it up and in. Grabowski with the score from Malloy.
Goal by Perrysburg was scored by number 1, Tatum Lincoln, assisted by number 22, Megan Gibbs. Pioneer goal by number 5, Rich
Grabowski from Grabowski, that was from Malloy.
assisted by Pioneer.
Shue in to take the draw versus Gibbs. Popped up, Gibbs grabs it. Gibbs heading down into the offensive zone. Gibbs gets right to the 12-meter fan, flips that over on the near wing, trying to fire it in. There's a shot and a goal by number 3, Ellis, who puts it in, and that makes it 2-1. Perrysburg with the lead.
Goal by Perrysburg, number 23, Megan Gibbs.
So Gibbs on the goal, forgive me. Okay. It was, Gibbs from Ellis there, from Gibbs. In for the draw. That ball popped up. Coming over, Perrysburg has it, gets inside the 12-meter fan is Gibbs. Gibbs heads back on the near hash marks. And just outside the 12-meter fan now over on the near wing, gets that moved over to Ellis. Ellis comes even with the goal now underneath the goal line extended. Ellis flips that back over. Underneath to Yeager. Yeager over on the far wing, trying to make her way up. That ball loose. Grabbed up. Here comes Shue for Pioneer. Shue moves it ahead. Down on the far wing. As over midfield, racing down on that far wing. Looks like that's Grabowski with it. Grabowski has it even with the goal. Now underneath the goal line extended. Grabowski. Right back behind the goal. Grabowski comes even with the goal on the near wing. That flipped over to Shue. Shue comes between the hash marks, working her way around the 12-meter fan. Shue gets it over to Kinsey. Kinsey on the far hash marks. Kinsey comes between the hash marks, steps inside the 12-meter fan, now right at the 8-meter arc. Working her way around. Back steps outside the 12-meter fan. Kinsey floats it in between, popped up high in the air. Ground ball on that near wing. As changes possessions a few times, then picked up. Coming the other direction here is Hillary. As Perrysburg has it, flips it just over midfield. Trying to rake it up is Whitcomb. Whitcomb. Ground ball that is going to stay. Pioneer ball as Whitcomb will have it on the near sideline. Whitcomb comes over midfield. Whitcomb as they will bring that back over. That'll be Perrysburg ball. Just shy of midfield as Gorch has it right over midfield. Gorch coming down into the offensive zone. There's a whistle, and Gorch will start back just inside, right at the restraint line. As Kinsey will go 5 yards behind her. Flipped over now, racing in. Here comes Lincoln. Lincoln inside the 8-meter arc, and a shot, and that goes top left-hand corner. Number 1, Lincoln fires it in for the Yellow Jackets. They take the 3-1 lead.
Goal from Perrysburg, number 1, Tatum Lincoln.
And at 19:45, Perrysburg now with the 2-goal run. As they get set for the draw. And Shue in there, I believe Gibbs on the other side on the near wing. 12, who I don't have. Over there with Kinsey. On the right-hand side, it's Lincoln joined over there with Grabowski. Popped up on midair. Here comes Lincoln. Lincoln races into the offensive zone. Lincoln just outside the near hash marks. Bounces it over, trying to rake it up with Gibbs. That grab. Now over on the far wing. Back over to Gibbs. Gibbs on the far hash marks. Gibbs coming from the far side, working her way 12 meters out, flips that over to Lincoln. Lincoln comes. Back over to Gibbs. Gibbs races into the 8-meter arc, spinning. A whistle there. As that is going to be Pioneer ball. Chouet has it with 19:08 left to go here in the first. 3-1. Perrysburg with the lead. Pioneer with the ball, coming ahead with it. Flipped over. Midfield, racing down with it. Miranda trying to get past into the offensive zone. Miranda comes inside the 12-meter fan. Now back, goal line extended, trying to get it over to Paulino on the near side of the crease. A whistle there, as I believe that was a crease violation. Goes over to Perrysburg. Now over on the near wing, Robertson with it. Robertson quickly, Paulino trying to provide defense, as that over the midfield stripe. Robertson flips it over into the offensive zone, trying to get that over to Ellis. That rolls over, raked up by Daly. Daly has it, moving it ahead to Grabowski. Grabowski, just off the tip of her cross. Out of bounds on the near wing. That is going to be Ellis who's going to grab it on that near sideline. 8:12 left to go here in the first. 3-1, Perrysburg with the lead. They've already played 5 games. This is the 6th game for Perrysburg and the 3rd game for Pioneer. Knocked down by Grabowski, but it's going to go back as Ellis will restart. Ellis on the near sideline. Ellis spinning, trying to get around with it. Flip back over. Back behind, trying to come in is Gorsh. Puts it back behind now. Coming over is Yeager. Yeager back behind the goal from the near side to the far side. Yeager, even with the goal on that far side, fires it right back behind the goal line, extended to Gibbs. Gibbs over to Gorsh on this near side. Now back to Ellis, above the goal line, extended. Ellis moves that over to number 12. Now that flipped over to Lincoln. Lincoln gets some room to work just inside of the offensive zone. Now inside the 12-meter fan, flips that up over to number 12. Trying to work her way over into, that's Lincoln. So number 12 flipped it right to Lincoln, who was about 7 yards out, turned and fired it. Not much Huffman could do about that one. And Lincoln now has a hat trick as she scored the first goal, and that is her 3rd goal of the game. And at 17-11, assist to number 12, who I don't have on my roster. See if I can effort that a little bit later.
Goal by number 1, Taylor Lincoln.
And I think, let me see if I can pull out the JV roster. Sheeny, okay. Perfect. And that pulled over. Perrysburg has it. Gibbs with it, just outside the 12-meter fan, being marked there. Working is Malloy. Gibbs trying to get in, whistle there. 16:47 left to go. As that's going to be from the first hash on the right. Free position. Waiting for everyone to be set. There's a shot by Gibbs. Good save by Huffman. Battle for it out in front, just on the far side of the crease. Still ground ball. As the ball goes in. No goal. 16:04 left to go. As Huffman has it in the crease for Pioneer. Pioneer down 3 goals. First home game of the season. That launch towards midfield, just off the tip of Miranda's cross, racing down, ground ball. Miranda gets it into the offensive zone. Miranda racing outside the hash marks on the far wing. Miranda goes underneath the goal line, extended now directly behind the goal. Miranda flips it out in front. That's stolen away by Gibbs. Gibbs flipped that all the way back over to Leonard. Now coming the other direction. Here comes Perrysburg. Lincoln fires it out in front. That rolls past. Out of bounds. That should be Pioneer ball on a pass, not a shot. So an alternate possession, not closest to it. Huffman has it back behind. Pressure back there by Yeager. Huffman trying to get it over to Kinsey. That just a little, just out of the reach of her cross. Out of bounds. That will be Perrysburg ball on the far sideline with 15:02 left to go. 4-1, Perrysburg with the lead. And Sheeny has it on the far sideline. As that's moved over, racing down that far wing, coming in. Perrysburg shot and a goal by Yeager. Nope. As that looks like it's called off again. Pioneer ball. And 14:38 as Huffman has it in the crease. Huffman launches it all the way towards midfield. That's stolen away, heading the other direction. Perrysburg with the interception into the offensive zone. Whistle as that was Menke who grabbed it out of midair. Menke restarts. Flips that back over to Muck. Muck coming between the hash marks. Muck cradling the ball, now flips it over on the near wing to Ellis. Ellis works her way down, flips it in between. Oh, Lincoln trying to get it and wouldn't settle down as Lincoln grabbed it out of midair. High pass and tried to turn and fire it. Now Ellis rolls it in, and that's a goal by number 3, Ellis for Perrysburg, as she got it about 5 yards out and spun and rolled it in. Perrysburg goal by number 3, Ellis, that at 13:52. 5-1. Timeout called as I believe Pioneer wants to talk things over. We'll play a couple messages from the MHSAA. We'll be right back.
Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Five to 1, Perrysburg Yellow Jackets in the lead here at Hallway Field for the opening home game for Pioneer Women's Lacrosse. They had 2 road games. They are 0-2 on the season. Young squad, lots of playing time. Graduated with a big senior class last season. Hopefully, all those amazing players are having lots of success in their next adventure in life. As this is a team that will obviously grow and get better all season long. Coach Magus out talking to the officials. Shuey in for the draw. Gibbs to her right, both to the right-hand side of the center stripe. Lincoln on the far wing with Kinsey. Grabowski on the near wing with Sylvie. ready for the draw. 13:52 left to go. 5-1, Perrysburg with the lead here in the first half. And they'll redraw that as the ball actually has to go straight up, kind of went over to the side. So it has to go straight up at least above their heads to be a proper draw. Ball set between the crosses. That lifted over into the near side. Popped up high. Grabbed by Gibbs. Ground ball trying to rake it up. Gibbs trying to get it. Still loose. Gibbs grabs it between the hash marks. Gibbs now heads towards the restraining line. Flips that over. Ground ball raked up. And coming down on the near wing. Launched. Ellis has it. Even with the goal now, sending it back on that near wing. Flipped up, top between the hash marks, right around the 12-meter fan by Gibbs. Gibbs flips it over onto the near wing. Now Lincoln gets it off the tip of her cross, but a whistle. And 13-13 left to go here in the first, 5-1. Perrysburg with the lead. They'll have the restart just off the top of the 12-meter fan into Gibbs. Gibbs puts it in. Fires it, and Gibbs with the goal at 12:59. Six to 1. Perrysburg with the lead. Yellow Jackets extend. As it is now a 5-goal run by Perrysburg. Set for the draw. Whistle that popped up over, and again they'll redraw that, trying to get it to go more straight up, not to the side on that draw. Again, you'll see so far both players have been on the same side of midfield. Sometimes you'll see them on alternating sides of midfield. They have the ball set between the crosses. Now that popped up high in the air, looking to get it. Gibbs pops it off of a hop on the ground, loses it. Ground ball, racing over to get it. Grabowski. Grabowski on the numbers, coming down towards the restraining line. Grabowski into the offensive zone, flips it over to Kinsey. And raked up. Perrysburg trying to come the other direction, as for a moment, Hillary had it. Now coming the other direction is Menke. Battle for it on that far sideline. Whistle. It's going to stay Yellow Jacket ball. As Menke has it. As Pioneer gets a penalty. And it will be a player-up situation for Perrysburg. As Menkiel started on the far sideline in their defensive zone. 12:27 left to go. Now Menke coming over, flips it towards midfield on a bounce, trying to rake it up. Here comes Pioneer coming the other direction with it. Racing in is Paulino. Paulino gets inside the 8-meter arc, and couldn't quite settle down off of Kinsey's cross. Paulino tries to get it. There's a whistle. There's going to be a penalty. I think that Paulino might have had a cross touch her head. So you have that area around the head that you can't come close to there. Right on the center hash, free position for Paulino. Trying to cut into the 5-goal lead by the Yellow Jackets. There's the whistle. Paulino comes in with it, fires and scores. Paulino stops the 5-goal run by the Yellow Jackets. Paulino puts it in at 11:33.